God.
Jukes. I see someone, but I don't think they're alive.
This house is clean.
Jumpy.
Another dead zone. The only thing alive in here is the smell.
They're not coming back.
Well, if you're gonna ride out the apocalypse, no better way to do it than with some castles and Crusades.
Hey, you too. Take only what you need.
Trolls reside. There's a Twitch channel where legends collide. Full of games, spinning tales unseen, streaming Dungeons and Dragons in a world so obscene. With dice in hand, we venture through the night. The Dungeon Master weaves his magic with all his might, gathering warriors, wolves, and elves. Lost in a labyrinth, no one can tell. Gather round the screen, let the stories unfold. It's rolling armor, leading the way. Troll on games, we're here to stay. Trolls
No, go straight. No, go right. Back there.
I could use a little more warning next time.
Go left.
Tell me you got something, Dex.
We're getting clobbered up here.
No picnic down here either, Cap. Hang in there. I've almost got it.
Dex! We can't hold them off any longer!
I'm almost there.
We have to evacuate now!
Go ahead without me. I'm right behind you.
Lovely.
Okay, turn left at the drugstore. Left again.
We're going round in circles.
Will you just trust me? Go left.
It's a dead end.
That's not supposed to be there.
A dead end!
There's no way out. Joe!
Trollord Games, join the fray. Trollord Games, join the fray. Trollord Games, join the fray. Trollord Games.
Almost, Chuck. Almost. It is the obligatory lack of camera on Tuesday afternoon. But we are here. I believe everybody can hear me at least as Chuck fandangles his camera from the Sky Captain of Tomorrow. I am Stephen Chenault. This is June 18th, 2024, and we are here in the darkness for Ask Me Anything. That's good, King Maglet. Chuck, we almost there?
I don't know why it's not working.
Well, I'm sure I'm to blame.
There it is. It's a lag thing. He finally showed up. Who knows? There you go. Have at it.
Holy Christmas. I just happened to have the Kickstarter open and scrolled. I forgot how cool that dragon is that Jason did. That thing is badass.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Badass. How's it going, Kelvin? Kelvin SM273. So using my Twitch account for the first time ever. Very, very cool. Well, thank you for joining us. This is our Ask Me Anything. I'm here, Steve Chenault, CEO of Total Games. If any of you all have any questions about anything that we are doing, the ongoing Kickstarter, Gygax material, Castle Sage, Amazing Adventures, whatever it is, and throw it up here, and I will do my best to answer it. But first, I must hydrate, apparently. Trash Von Kill.
Lando was in early today to get your Dr. Pepper tea. Welcome, everybody. Good to see everybody. I'm the disembodied voice. For anybody new out there.
Today's Sojourn, how do you say that word? Into Amazing Adventures has been fun.
Oh, the mic's hot. The other day we couldn't hear me. Now it's hot. I give up with audio, man. Ah.
There you go. There you go.
It is hot, though. Holy shit. Look at that. Let me lower it down on my end. There we go. That's a little better. Good God.
Are you blowing people away with your...
It was hitting red. I have no clue why other than going to sleep. Oh, the Kraken. The Kraken 2024. What is happening?
So, wow, that's quite a broad question, Kraken. I got today. I specifically am working on Amazing Adventures. I have been reformatting the class section of that, injecting a whole bunch of new art. I hope to have a serviceable manuscript for backers tomorrow. Sans the spells section. We sent it out once, but it's needed some tender love and care, and I think it's getting that now. A lot of new art in there. I'm super jazzed about, and I think this 8-hour stretch on Amazing Adventures is what put the Sky Captain of Tomorrow in my head. The quintessential Amazing Adventures movie. It is absolutely spot on. Plus, he's flying a what is it, P-40? It's a P-40. What is it? P-40 what? It's a P-40 something.
41. That's not right.
P-47 was the Thunderbolt. P-46 was the Thunderbolt. P-51 was the Mustang. The P-40 was the something. Lens cap. I don't think it was the lens cap.
I don't know.
Always it does. Does he have it at all for stream? He seems like he's always Curtis P-40. It was called something, wasn't it? He's King Maglo. Jeremy's always that grumpy. I have started calling him and Grace TLG's yin and yang because Grace is always.
Oh my God, totally. And Grace is like, "What's up?"
That's what it is. Yeah, she's just optimistic and all the stuff. And Jeremy's not.
Jeremy is the youngest old man I've ever known in my entire life.
I think it is the Warhawk Cador, the P-40 Warhawk. The Flying Tigers, we all know them as the Flying Tigers. Those of us who have dabbled in World War II, and they flew over China in 1940 and 41, I believe, before the war kicked off. They were sort of mercenaries type deal that the Department of Defense was feeding to the Chinese to help fight the Japanese back in that unsettling conflict. That's why it fits in TLG so well. That's why he fits it. Yeah, Davis is kind of that way. Chuck's definitely that way. No one is. You are, Chuck. Please. It's always bad news from Chuck. If Chuck's texting me, it's a problem.
I don't have an anger problem. What are you talking about?
Not an anger problem. There is a problem. If I see Chuck typing in Skype, I know
oh yeah,
say something wrong. We gotta do.
You immediately start feeling exhausted already. Just you see me typing. Oh God, here it comes.
It's you, Davis, and Jeremy, and Jason too. Are all kind of. Jason's not as bad, but bad news bears type of deliveries, and then Mel and Grace are always super.
Yeah, they're all like woo,
Yeah. Jason is pretty pumped, but it's entertaining on my end. The ebb and flow of whatever. Jeremy joins all of the legends at TLG exactly. How's it going, Doc Flamingo? What's up, Doc? Thank you for your following.
Doc? All right, you want to start some of these questions? I got a couple here lined up for you.
Yeah, hold on. Chuck, you're still here loud. We need to turn it up.
I turned myself back down some more. I don't know why. Who knows? You go to bed and wake up and the audio's different.
Yeah, you're actually loud on my end too. So just mute yourself.
Hurtful. Am I really loud on your end too?
Yeah, you're kind of loud on.
That helps me because that tells me it's not the streaming software. At least that's good.
Yeah.
Oh look, cheap
viewers, first time on chat. Yep, absolutely. So you said some questions had popped in there.
Yeah, let me welcome Blazes there. He gets the warm welcome. There we go. All right. Now back to the questions at hand. All right, MSN 2012 gaming says.
Go ahead.
Jeremy distracted me. I know the goal is to be OGL free, but is it really necessary to change all the spell names? Others, Shadow Dark, Basic Fantasy, have achieved the same goal without tossing out all the spell names. Create Sustenance and Bestow just don't land right.
Yeah, I can't. So Bestow was put back to Bless. That actually was never supposed to have been changed. Jeremy caught that in his overall. So the basic rule was any word that's a single word should have stayed. And I don't really know why that got flipped over. It should. There's about 10 that he caught that should never have been flipped from single word to whatever. So Bestow went back to Bless. So I don't know. I can't speak for what any other company's doing. I don't know what Shadow Dark. I don't know if they're using the Creative Commons or what they're doing. I'm guessing that they are. Davis and I sat down. We talked attorneys, and with Wizards of the Coast past behavior, I'm not going to subject TLG nor CNC nor you guys to this rope-a-dope stuff that they're doing all the time. They did. You probably don't remember, but they did this during the 4th edition with the GSL. They came in and said, if you want to do 4th edition, you have to sign this GSL, which was an extension of the OGL, and pretty much locked you down into what they were going to do, to ownership and all kinds of crazy shit like that. So we didn't do the 4th edition either, and we did the 5th edition because the license was pretty open. But when they did this, let's rescind the open gaming license, it's just a pattern of behavior that I don't want to participate in. I don't want to encourage. I don't want to be a part of. I don't want 2 or 3 years from now or 5 years from now, we have to have the same conversation all over again. So going in and changing the spell names was a must. It really, the rest of this content has stayed the same. I mean, so little of it has changed that it's just not that much. The layout has changed, and there was a variety of reasons, not least of which was trade dress. I didn't want any kind of fluffle coming up from Wizards of the Coast saying this is the way we do spells, this is the way traditionally done spells. We're going to shut you down because you're not following our licensing or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it was necessary. Sadly, it was necessary. I really didn't want to do it. No one here wanted to do it. It destroyed our schedule. It forced us to the problems have been astronomical. And though I know some companies decided to dive in with the Creative Commons, I think that's fantastic. I wish them all the luck, but I'm not going to doubt for a moment if the Coast doesn't try to exercise some kind of ownership in some capacity in the future, and then they're going to be back to where they were, last year.
Yeah,
hope that answers.
It's just, I think that was a good response. It's not nothing rebellious or whatever, but we don't really have a dog in that race anymore.
So Chuck, they're saying Jeremy says that he can't hear me very well.
Really?
I don't know if that's just Jeremy and his his headphones have fallen off, or his commercialiness has clogged his ears. But what's the next question?
From let's see, Trash Monkey. Fast forward into the TLG future, where the Kickstarter is over and the new books are released. What are you interested in seeing created for CNC?
It's always the Book of the Plains, the Codex of the Plains. I've been working on forever. I was barreling along about a third of the way through, I think, when the OGL crisis exploded last year, and then I managed to pick it up again like 2 months ago. So I'm working on the Codex of the Plains, and that's what I'm personally most excited about. More to recent releases will be the Arms and Armor will be a really good book, I think. So I'm jazzed on that. But once all of this dust settles, it'll be right back into the Codex of the Plains and Abstract, which is what I really want to be doing, as opposed to all of this formatting and whatever we're doing now. Yeah. Trash. Everyone has because I quit working on it. It's nuts.
Let's see. Next question by Sparky. Question: why are lycanthropes so different than their AD&D counterparts? For example, you needed a silver or a +1 magic weapon to hit them, but in CNC you can hit them regardless, but they regen and silver does double damage. Interesting.
I think my guess is going to be, it's been a long time since we did that, but going off of the way I and Davis run games, and Mac, Todd's a little different. Because magic and silver is so rare that by making that creature need a magic weapon or a silver weapon to hit it, I should say rare in our games, to hit it, then that pretty much negates this entire class of monsters for combat. But if you make it so people can actually hit the thing, the CK can bring it to the table and play it, and then you just give it this extra healing ability so that they do hit it, but now it still has something that can do, and the silver and magic does extra. But that would be my guess. It's been a long time since we did that, but that would be my guess. I really, as a game master, I do not like death spells. I do not like death attacks. I do not like anything that incapacitates party members, because people can't, if you're running a combat that's going to last like, say, 35 minutes, and Chuck gets knocked out round 1, and he's going to sit there for 30 minutes and do absolutely nothing. And that's not cool to me. So I'm not a big fan of all of that type of stuff. And the same goes in the other direction. If you can't hit the monster, you're just going to run away or not fight it or whatever. So generally speaking, we walked back a lot of that needing magic weapons to hit. But I will say this: if you go read T1, A Village of Hamlet from TSR days, that thing has, I mean, like the baker has 2+1 swords and 5,000 gold pieces, and whatever. So old TSR, old AD&D stuff, and previous AD&D stuff, it was heavy on the magic, very, very heavy on the magic. We jettisoned magic, and so we kind of went in that direction, I think. And it gives, what it does for you guys is it gives you freedom to do what you want as you go forward. If you want to go heavy on the magic, you've still got a reason that this magic does extra damage to lycanthropes. But if you want to go light on the magic, now you still can use lycanthropes at the table. I hope that makes sense, Sparky.
No, I think that's an interesting. I like what you did there. I never really noticed it. I just assumed it was like AD&D. I don't think I've ever even read it. I probably, because a lot of times I'll just use the monsters, the stats, but I don't read them because we've played it for so many years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I have to say I like that. That's neat because I don't like lock and click. If I don't mind death spells and stuff and that kind of thing, if it's needed or whatever, but like a situation where someone's held for 30 minutes or they can't hit someone or whatever, situations where the players end up sitting around the table not doing anything, that's terrible. You just can't.
Yeah, it's not. It's just not terribly fun.
No.
And I don't mind. I'll do death stuff. Like a demi-lich, I keep that intact and stuff like that because it's a powerful creature.
Yeah, sure.
But like I always loved wights and wraiths, but they obliterate your party. And a ghoul can obliterate a party. And first of all, like one ghoul can come in and wipe out an entire party.
No.
Paralyzed.
And it gives a value too there. You think about silver being double damage, that's pretty damn good. I mean, think about it.
No, it's. I think it's. I personally think it's the better way to go to give as much freedom to both sides of the screen as humanly possible.
Right.
And that way people can make, whatever they need to do as they go down.
Let's see. Question I can answer that. Well, I can answer for us anyways. King Muglet says, is anyone going to Con on the Cobb in October, convention in Cleveland area? Have they allowed people to return to Cleveland? I wasn't aware of that, King. I wasn't aware that was a safe zone. It's a joke, by the way. No one's getting it, but that's fine. Whatever. Everybody laughs when you say Detroit, but they don't ever laugh when you say Cleveland. I don't know.
Thank you, Wohan Lee.
But anyway, we're not going as a company, no. But I've heard of that con before. Someone posted in Discord about it once. Con on the Cobb. I remember the name. But yeah, that's all the questions we have so far right now, sir.
Well, we got one here from Aramile. How far away does Rook live away from the Clobane Orcs? It states that he lives at the foot of the Cold Crab. That's a good distance from the Red Hills, isn't it? Yeah, the Cold Crab is in the south, right? That's way down there.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, but you're gonna have to refresh my memory. Is Rook? Is that the hero god of the Clobane? I think that's who that is. But he should actually be nearer to the Red Hills. I can't even remember the Cold Crab.
I've got a question for you, actually. Someone's asked us.
Really like the Rollmaster ways of having so many strange materials that give bonuses without being magical. Yeah, that is actually kind of cool. That's very, very cool.
Yeah, let's see. I need to find. I think it's in here. Maybe. Well,
Warlord, yeah. Lives in Rook, which is at the foot of the Cold Crab. Aramel, I'm going to have to remember where the Cold Crab is. I should know this. Okay, yeah. That's over there where the dragons are.
Just below.
So he doesn't really rule the Clobane like a king. He's more, think of him as an adventurer like one of your characters would be. He's an orc adventurer, an orc hero, orc demigod who wanders about, getting into adventures. Does that sound right?
What is his name again?
Rook. He's barely anywhere in any of the books.
Yeah, I've heard the name before once. That's why it stood out in my head, but I couldn't remember where. He just wanders around getting into shit.
Yeah, well, that's what some of these. There's evil demigods, just like there's good demigods. And if you take like Luther, the god of the Dreaming Sea, he still wanders the plane, fighting dragons, doing whatever. Rook is going to be the same thing. So he doesn't really sit over the Clobane as an overlord so much as a hero who comes back from time to time.
Oh, I see.
Intermingling with his people. Let's say. Any new module series coming, or you're still focusing on support material, we've got 3 modules in the hopper. The next module that you will see padded in is going to be in the Crusader 28. We are going to, one of the things that we're going to do with the Crusader series from now on is they're going to be a full-length adventure, and as full-length, I mean 20,000 to 24,000 words with maps and art in each one of these Crusaders, so that even if you get the Crusader and you don't like the articles, you at least want to walk away with it with a full-length adventure. It's one of the reasons that the Crusader will be the same price as our adventures run. They're like $9 or $10. I think they're $9.99 on the store. Crusader will be $9.99. So it's all kind of rolling that together. So that's how we're going to do adventures. And Davis is expanding. He's working right even now. Well, actually, right now he's driving, but he's working on engineering towns and villages. He's halfway through the manuscript. He finished it, and then I added stuff to it. So he's gone back to it, and he's got to put in the crap added to it. And we have hired a Norwegian artist, Svetlana, to do the cover for this engineering. So you'll see the engineering series, the support material continue going, but you'll also see adventures. And I think we've got 3 in the hopper right now. One will be in Crusader 28. So very, very soon you'll see adventures rolling out again. And just kind of bundle in the magazine.
Well, I think that's good. That puts it in our firmer in our production schedule too. It's good.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a good thing. Question: do you have any books that are the equivalent of Keep on the Borderlands sandbox-like setting? Yeah, we got quite a few. Depends on what you're looking for. If it's more like Keep on the Borderlands, so there's Heart of Glass, which is a setting sandbox, but it's not really like Keep. It's a city. There's the sea towns of Ilsa. And it's kind of a city sea adventure type region. And then there's Town of Colossus, that's also kind of a city type, city on the coast type thing. Not much Navy adventure in that I don't recall. But as for something more like Keep on the Borderlands, I know we've got one, but it's Lie on the Road. That's not it. There's one that's got just. I don't know. I'll have to get back with you on that one. We've got about 30 modules. I pulled a whole bunch of modules out of print. We cancel them. We set them to the side. They all got to be overhauled and all that. Oh, yeah. So we're just kind of tabling them. We'll do a PDF kind of old stuff later. But Keep on the Borderlands. That's a great adventure. That's Matt Golden's second favorite. It's either first or second. White Plume Mountain is his first.
Okay, so let's see. Trash Monkey says, what software do you use for writing, dissertation research when you're doing that, creating TLG books, etc.?
So I write everything in Word for myself. I think everyone in the company does. However, I did just discover through Jason Fay that WordPerfect is back on the scene. So he purchased it and downloaded it and said, "Love it." We used WordPerfect up until about 2008, I think, and I absolutely love WordPerfect. So I may switch to WordPerfect, and just to cause chaos and mayhem inside the dens.
Jeremy's already had palpitations down there. You're giving the poor old
yeah,
fellow.
I'm sure he is. Thanks, RML. Thanks for the question. And I saw that he's only mentioned that once, right? On page 43, I think you said. But yeah, we do things in InDesign and Photoshop, and we are looking at now. I don't know if anyone's been following it, but Adobe's been doing some really goofy stuff with their licensing. So we're looking at shifting to Affinity. I think it's called.
The only thing I don't know anything about Affinity, but one thing I do like about Adobe, and it's the cloud. Because I can save all my shit up on there, and I just go in, work, and I don't have to.
So just to let you know, Chuck, don't put any TLG stuff on that cloud.
No. This is my own personal stuff.
Yeah, because that's the licensing thing, is that anything that goes on the cloud, they have access and can use.
Right.
So, and we don't use any cloud-based services in the company.
No.
Stuff gets put up on Google Docs, though it's not supposed to. I know that it gets put on Google Docs.
Nothing dangerous though. I'm smart about that.
I'm not a huge fan of
just jibber jabber.
Yeah, all of that stuff. But I hope that answers your question. Here's one I've had on my mind for a while. How do you determine the landholder's obligations to their lord? My partner just ended up with the moat house, and soon I'll need to tax them. Nice. That should be land as treasure. I believe in the CKG in chapter 10, land as treasure covers that, how much to tax. I can't remember what it is, but I believe that's how it's in there. Now, when I run the game, Sparky, I'm really cut and dry that stuff. I basically will take like, where did they got some lands. I can't even remember what anyways, whatever game. They ended up with some small province. And I basically said, okay, so this province will be self-sustaining, and it earns enough money to keep the roads repaired and all of that stuff, plus maybe an extra, 100 gold pieces a month or 10, whatever, however big it is. I know there's a chart because I worked on it for the last printing of the CKG. I know there's a chart in CKG that kind of breaks all of that down for you. That gives you an idea of earnings over time for any kind of property. I know that's in that somewhere, but I go really easy on it, Sparky, and basically just say it pays for itself. It just keeps it very, very easy.
So I got a question from the audience, then I have a question too in a minute.
Fire.
So, this is for me, I guess. Question: will the Crusader adventures come with VT maps, pre-gens, and tokens?
So that's never going to be the first thing that we do, but all of our maps are laid out in Photoshop and they're layered. So what will happen once the print and the PDF comes out? As time permits, we can take those and just take the levels off and convert them over. I assume that's how that goes.
Yeah, we could actually put them up on the store. I hadn't thought about that. And I hadn't even thought about. Yeah, that's. I'm sure we'll have them somewhere. Someone can get them.
Yeah, but the real thing with the VTT at the moment is we don't have a dedicated staff to kind of propel all of that stuff forward. Hopefully, in the near future, we can do that. We can get that going. So it's kind of as time allows. Now, I will say this, and I say this all the time, but when we're through the hump of really the next 30 days, it's going to be probably the next 20, and the Amazing Adventures Player's Handbook, the Amazing Adventures CKG, and the CNC Player's Handbook get done. It'll be a monstrous amount of work off the desks and tables, and we can begin to kind of break up time and give these tasks to a little bit more attention than we have in the past.
Now, my question is about Helg. You remember the guy that asked in Discord about a month ago about they couldn't find anything about him? You dug all that stuff up. Do you remember that? We're talking about about the fact that there wasn't much information in there, and you were putting it aside for Gods and Monsters, I think.
About the plane hell?
No, Helg. Those gods that you put aside.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
So my question is what is the plans for Gods and Monsters? I used to know of a plan, but it's been so long, I don't know where we're at with all that.
So Gods and Monsters we will probably never revisit. We've got Gods and Legends now, and Gods and Legends will eventually be expanded with more deities for orcs and just more stuff. The book right now is fantastic. It's very, very functional to get. I believe what I asked Davis to do was 4 orc gods, 4 gnoll gods, 4 halfling gods, 4 gnome gods, 4 whatever gods, so that each of our demi-humans and most of our humanoids had. So if you're playing one of these, you can grab that book and you're a cleric, and here's your choices of gods. I always wanted to expand that. Davis's deities are so very, very cool. So I've always wanted to expand that. So that's part of what I want to do with that. Now, Helg specifically won't appear in any of those books. Helg will appear in Gods and Monsters of Erd. Helg, for those who don't know,
that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, Helg is I hate to say priestess, advocate, maybe, follower, worshiper of Narhite, the god of chaos here in the world of Erd. And she's one of my favorite creatures that I've created because she doesn't do what Narhite wants her to do, ever. She does what she wants to do and what she thinks should be done, because Narhite is a god of chaos, so naturally his followers are chaotic themselves. And the game I'm running right now, she's actually bewitched Narhite into this kind of stupor, so it's really kind of cool. Really? Yeah, it's been, of course, now that game's been on hiatus for over a year. I'm not sure we'll ever be able to revisit that one, but yeah. So she's got him.
We've had
tricked.
Several people ask about Helg in the Discord over the past couple months, and I kept noticing it popping up, and I thought, you answered one person with a real detail, but this was in a different channel, and I thought, who is this Helg? So I started going down the rabbit hole. And I didn't get very far past that little sentence in the Codex where they talk about the Lobanes, worshiping and all that stuff, So
Yeah, and then she pops up in the Monsters and Treasures of Air because she's got those Helg's orphans or whatever they're called.
Oh, is that the same person?
That's probably why she's popped up, right? Yeah. So there's parts of Air that are very, very brutal, and I never know what.
I think you're talking about Hild's Brood, though. Are you thinking about Hild's Brood?
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. Is Hild. I'm thinking of Hild, not Held.
I'm talking about Held. Held is a dude, I think. He was in a group of gods that you were going to put in.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I got that all.
Oh, that's okay.
Tabulated in my head. Hild is the follower of Narhite.
Yeah, I think that Held was, but I thought, well, I was going to let you go with it. You're the man, I don't, whatever.
I'll have to look.
What you typed in here was Helg is in a group of gods that were slated to go in the oft dreamed about be writing gods and monsters of Air. A short version of this was released back in a long time ago in the black box and so forth and so on. And you've actually statted him up in here. Iron Skirt, Unk Blood, Order, Val Tumph, Province, Battle, Law, Evil. It's got all of us in here. You put it in the Discord one time. You may not recall it, but you did quite the entry.
I'm looking him up right now. I've got that. Here's Gods and Monsters of Air. Here's the gods. There's Hild. Okay, yeah. I got all goofed up with Hild. Hild is one of my favorite. She's just one of my favorite deities. Oh, Helg is this Clobane knucklehead. That's right.
Yes.
Well, he's going to be much like Rook. He's going to be just on the hoof. I mean, the guy's just he campaigns and he slaughters.
Well, see, that's what I was wondering about, because that's like somebody that would be awesome to run into in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm running that 15th level game on Sunday. Maybe I need to break this guy out.
Oh, Aramal's helpful. He's being very helpful in the chat here. He knows quite a bit about it. It says legendary Lobane orc hero that rose to prominence in the early days of Unclar's rule. His feats on the
there you go. Yeah, I've got him open in front of me. Yeah.
Where do you find that? Where's that write up at though? What book is that write up in? I want to read about him.
So it's not been published that I know
Oh,
of.
okay.
If it is, it's only in passing because I'm sorry. In Gods and Monsters of Air in the black box, there was a teaser for a bunch of these deities, and that's where they came in because that was prominent on my to-do list in those days, and clearly it got knocked off my to-do list for God knows what. But I'm sure when the black box came out, but the black box was this small little, 8.5 by 5.5. It's 9x6 box, black, that had a teaser for the Adventurers backpack in it. I had a bunch of stuff like that. And one of those was these Gods and Monsters of Air, which I was deep into. And I've got all the notes and files. I mean, I'm looking at the folder here. There's Tiamat. What you guys know as Tiamat is, what is her? That name has changed.
Well, I hope eventually with that aired book that you'll put some of these heroes in there like that. Because I would love to have some of these good, evil, I don't care. These superheroes like Astrobolus, and people, these guys that walked on aired, and they were demigods, basically almost.
Absolutely. I mean? One of the things that I like most. So here's what I like most about Gods and Monsters of Air that hasn't actually come out. I outlined the Firth Nopt, which is the 5 gates that lead to the Wretched Plains, the Homeless House, which is where Orndul dwells, the Moth Tiamat, which is Huskar is her name, I think. The Rings of Brass, the Temple of Perth, the 3 houses. There's all kinds of cool stuff in here that I would really like to circle back around to. And this all ties in, because these are all planar things. This all ties into the Codex of the Plains and Alstrag and all of that stuff. And that is one reason that I have to keep my frustration with this, like the OGL really has caused just a massive problem for us and delayed stuff for us. And I know that some people don't think it's necessary, and I respect that, but we've got to change it. That's why we've got the Kickstarter running.
Yeah.
But it has it's just whiplashed through. And it's funny when you guys bring this stuff up because I don't think about it much because I'm so, like today, I spent the entire day formatting tables in InDesign for Amazing Adventures.
God, your job must be awesome.
Yeah, someone hang me. But,
I know. That's what I'm afraid we turn the camera on, like have like a meeting, and you're over setting up a news. What's that? Oh, that's for later. Just don't worry about
it. Yeah, and I check in on the conversations on Skype every couple of minutes or every couple of hours, and trying to figure out.
That's
what's
why
going
you
on.
laughed so hard when I talked about doing the encounter tables. You just laughed at me
Oh yeah,
nonstop.
yeah. There's all kinds
You're
of
like,
stuff out there.
you know.
Yeah. Let's this gnat flying around my office. Huadun is Tiamat. That's the 5-headed dragon that guards the wretched plains. And she's very, very, very cool. I mean, her mouth, she's constantly got her mouths open. Each of the mouths is one of the 5 caves, the fourth knot, the 5 caves that lead into the wretched plains. And each one does a different thing. And in the Gonfod, Huadun will come up, will rise up, and join Orandil in his war against Corthane. So there's all kinds of cool stuff. I absolutely love.
It's
to
awesome
put out
stuff,
there.
man. I mean, I'm sitting here wanting Errol to keep talking about it, and I'm gonna take it all in.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of fun developing that type of stuff and playing it too, especially now that CNC is 20 years old. We've got y'all's characters are high level and whatnot.
Yeah, that's true.
So, there you go. But the good news is we really are. I talked to Jeremy today. We are really at the end game of finishing these books. The next 2 weeks we'll have them done. And then Katie barred the door. We can start getting some other stuff going.
All right,
Sparky
so we'll
and I saw your comment about Matt. The server is down. I got to get a new hard drive, Sparky. As soon as I do, I will get that up and running. I hope to God that you had your stuff backed up. All of the stuff that you separated, you had it backed up because the hard drive on the server might be obliterated. And none of that stuff is important. It's all everything on the server is backed up on my hard drives and then TLG's backup hard drive, except I hadn't backed up what you separated. So I thank God.
See, I told Steve we had nothing to worry about. It's all good.
You did. You said you'll have it backed up.
Right. Faith. All right. We'll do some more questions here real quick. We are doing a giveaway. If you are in Twitch, you can give us a follow like Sports Bet Raffle. If you are not in Twitch, if you want to get in on the giveaway, you just need to come over here and visit us briefly to get in, and then whoever wins will be getting a code in Discord after the stream. They'll contact one of our moderators over there. There's a link for you guys in Twitter or wherever you might be. If you want to come over real quick and join, you can. Outside of that, we'll get back to the questions here. Let's see. First up, Trash Monkey. Question. When are the new Amazing Adventure core books supposed to be ready for us to buy? I'll write it down this time so I'll remember. I think you kind of sort of...
March of this year. They were supposed to be at GaryCon, but they didn't make it. So that's actually what my primary focus is right now. I spent most of the day fixing going in and kind of... Someone made a comment on Thursday's stream. I wasn't in it, but I did watch it later, and someone made a comment, and we're going to do this in the CNC Player's Handbook, that the abilities for the classes were difficult to read, to separate from the description of the abilities. Now, we're not going to cut the text down. We're not going to dive into the Castles and Crusades and start truncating text down to mechanics. That's what other games do. They focus on mechanics, so that's all they need. We don't really focus on mechanics. We focus on the story elements and the literature and the imaginative elements. So we're going to keep that readable content in there. But I love the idea of the header, where it says back attack or whatever, to be where you can see it a little bit better, because it is kind of buried in the text. So that's actually that, and fixing some of the tables and putting in the new art for Amazing Adventures Player's Handbook. That's what I did today, and I'm very, very happy with the way it's turned out. Everything's kind of spread out now. I know you guys are going to love that, because I'm the only one that really likes to block the text, but it's all kind of spread out. Headers are like a deal. Yeah. I mean, it's good, and it is a lot of information, so it's nice to have it broken up. So that and I bumped the font from 9 to 10 because 9 is just too small. And so that's where we are on that. I really hope to have that book done, sans the spell section, by tomorrow afternoon. And then Jeremy will be wrapped up Thursday with the spell section, and it's really just a copy paste and then swap the names of spellcasters out and get that in the Player's Handbook. And then that book is good for the kind of the final look over. So in the next few weeks, I hope to have it done. I'm not sure where the CKG is. I think it's all laid out, and it just needs the art put in it. So that's what. So we're really close to it. In the next month or so, we should have those 2 books done, the Player's Handbook done, the CKG done. The M&T for CNC is going to be somewhere in that kind of gray zone, because we're getting tons of arts coming in like crazy, but
not crazy.
It's
okay. Will the Crusader? Oh, Little Zach77 asks, will the Crusader include adventures for CNC only, but from time to time adventures from your other games also?
It will definitely have adventures for the other games, amazing adventures. And one of the things, once AA is out, we can unlock Star Siege. Jason sent me a long list about stuff about Star Siege that he wants to do. I didn't read it because I was working on amazing adventures. I'll go and we'll look at Star Siege when it's time. But yeah, absolutely. I've actually been dying to write an amazing adventures adventure for quite a while. I got this really kind of neat idea that I want to explore using these real world books that I've been collecting. So I've been wanting to do that for quite a while. So definitely Crusader will have those in it.
Okay. Let's see. King Muglet asks, have you ever blatantly stole a movie plot for an adventure? If so, what is your favorite one?
Oh yeah, I think probably the most blatant theft I ever did at my table was when. So this is gonna be a long time ago, even though it just came out again. But when the Dune movie came out, the theatrical version, so it's just gonna be the 2-hour version in like 1987. I don't know, whatever year it was. Now I'll have to say this. That's when I used it. Maybe the movie came out before that. Maybe that's when I saw it and I used it later. Because it was definitely during Todd's game, and they were about 4th level. But I was playing Greyhawk at the time, and what is this? Is the Sea of Dust? Is that what it is over to the left? The Sea of Dust? I took the Sea of Dust and basically turned that into Dune / Arrakis.
That's awesome.
Dune. Yeah, it was really cool. So we did this whole series of adventures in the Sea of Dust that were basically stuff. There was a leader there who had solder car soldiery and whatnot. And I'll tell you this. One of the most epic moments in my gaming history happened in that campaign that we were running. It was Luther, who you know from the Codex of Erd, and Charlie's Daladon character, and some other knuckleheads, Bullets and whatnot. But they were fighting. They were fighting several dragons. If I recall, now Charlie would correct me, but if I recall, whatever Charlie was flying on, they were airborne. I don't know how. Whatever, they may have been on a dragon. I think they were on something that Mac had ensorcelled with his wizard whip. But this red dragon flies underneath Charlie, and wherever they're flying, and Charlie goes, "I'm going to leap off this and land on that dragon." I said, "Dude, there's no chance." And he goes, "Fuck it, I'm doing it." And so he runs. I said, "Oh, dude, the only way you're going to make this happen is you roll a natural 20." And he rolled, and it was a natural 20, and he landed on the back of that dragon and started wailing away on it. It was a pure moment. It was just pure.
I love those. Those are the best. That's what makes the game so much fun. Because it seems like those clutch moments come through for the players, and it's always fun, you know.
It really is. When it happens and everything shifts. And it was just so.
I remember one of the first online games you ever ran for us when I started working for the company. And I don't know if you remember or not, but it was a situation where these guys got airborne on the back of some creature. I don't remember. And every last one of them jumped to their doom. They all died. They were all jumping off, and they couldn't make the roll, and they all died. Yeah. You're like, well, it happens.
It does go the other way, too. I remember Mac was running a game, and we were pinned up over a chasm on a bridge. And Davis showed up late for the game, and he shows up and he pulled his character out. And the very first thing he said is, "I run down the side of the bridge and I leap to get behind the ogres." And he rolled a 1 and fell off the bridge and plundered to his death. It was absolutely serious. Let's see. I saw a couple of questions.
I got a bunch right here. I got you. So, Sparky says, any chance that the new Crusader will have an aired section?
Yeah, absolutely. It's got it. Yeah, it's got
Stetler is looking for an update on the Hermit.
Great news on the Hermit. We've got 3 more pictures. I haven't looked at the email, but I saw that Wesley had emailed me. He's got 3 more pictures to knock out, and when he's done, and Bill's got the text, he's going to start laying that out if he hasn't already. I am super excited about this. This will be the first time we've ever actually kind of explored a really serious, different layout with our adventures, and everyone's going to love it. It's got a lot of color and whatever.
Right.
What is it? 200 words per page or something. All right, what's the next question?
This is a one from me. Which makes you smile bigger behind the screen? When the party splits up, or when they start firing arrows into melee?
Man, I get so irritated when
I borrowed it, Statler. Go ahead.
It irritates the living crap out of me because now I got to run 3 separate games or 4 separate games or whatever, and I don't understand why characters will not use missile weapons. I just don't understand it. Everyone should have a bow, and when my monster's attacking, unleash your arrows for 2 or 3 rounds, drop the bow, and pull your weapons out. Because you can soften my creatures up, but no one ever does it. It's very strange.
I got one comment for you, and that was your character Habit. His ass was running in immediately with a sword, so I don't want to hear it.
I had locked and loaded my whole humanoid spell, so that Jeremy could hit the left and whatever came through that right hand door. Because you described something coming through it, I was going to lock it in the doorway so nothing else could get out through the door. But nothing ever came through, so I held on to it.
Fair enough. All right, so Bone Shooter 87 says, "What are your thoughts on proactive role playing? Basically, letting the players tell the story instead of just going chapter by chapter in an adventure module."
Oh yeah, I'm all over that. Yeah, absolutely. I so rarely follow in an adventure and something that's written. I mine it for ideas, unless I like T1, because T1's like it's just an idea adventure. There's really no adventure in T1. A1 is the same way. There's no real adventure there. There's a couple of quests that you can go on, but it's really a whole bunch of personages and encounter areas. So I'm all over letting the players. I actually try to yield as much time to the players as I possibly can. I don't ever guide their characters. I don't tell them what they're doing, any of that stuff. I want them to kind of spin the yarn, and I'll dance around. That's the hope, because they get more vested in it.
All right. Well, now that's a good answer. That's exactly right. And that's what a lot of us do. That's what I do. I mean, okay, let's see. From Aramile, some more aired stuff here. Any other information on Cheryl, a port city in Maine? My players just set sail from there, headed to the Isle of Dread for the first time.
Cheryl, all I know about Cheryl, because I haven't written it up yet, that's actually the next aired expansion adventure book that I'm going to write. Because I want to get that I got the Marbeline Coast done, and I just want to get that part of the map done. I got north of that done. I just need to get, I'm just shooting all over the place. I need to get sections done.
In my time of boredom, I'm going to make us up a map that like a master map of where all the adventures are and where all the expansions are. We need something like that.
We need that something fierce. So Maine is a very rich kingdom, and Cheryl is a very modern port. And it really is kind of the, not the hub, but very close to the hub of all the trade from Brindisium and Keomar and Arenal and Maine itself, that of course goes through the Ilorian Straits and around and up into. So Cheryl is an extremely modern, clean, well-policed port. I believe there's a count who rules over that. There might be a duchy. I think it's a county.
We like to use real world places in our stuff for sure.
Very cool.
Let's see. Next up is Death's Angel Shadow. What's the latest word on the stat block tables for us technical people?
So I think you're going to be very happy so that's one of the things. Jeremy is going through the spells right now, and kind of this is where he caught those 8 spells that had been named when they shouldn't have been, their names changed, like Blessed of Bestow, that should never have been changed. I think they're 8 or 11, something like that. So that's been fixed. The stat blocks, I ran, we play tested it at my table, but I ran in Chuck's game yesterday. I didn't have much problems at all reading the stat blocks, but I've got a couple ideas I want to toy with. As soon as Jeremy gives me the manuscript back, I'll toy with those. Probably will be Monday before I'm able to do that. The plan right now is next Tuesday we'll send I was going to do it today or tomorrow, but it's not ready. It'll just upset people because there's some things that I haven't fixed that people have asked to be fixed. So probably next Tuesday that we roll that out again, so that everybody can have a gander at it and see. But the chart in the back is really, Chuck sent me, I think I talked about this the other day, but Chuck sent me copies of some other role-playing games that people keep bringing up in chat and keep talking about. And they're very cool, but basically what these RPGs have done, OSC and some of the other ones, is they just stripped all of the imaginative content out, all the descriptive content out. I don't know if I'm casting a fireball in either one of those games. I don't know what's going to catch on fire. I don't know how it's going to affect paper, or whether it's anything that's soaked in water. I've got no guidance on that, which is fine. If you've been playing games for 30 or 40 years, 20 years, 10 years, you know what you want a fireball to do. All you need is that mechanics. CNC is really not built that way. We try to, fuel the imagination and try to give a little bit more guidance for a lot of new players and to do whatever. So but for those of you guys like myself and like Chuck and like you, I'm guessing, and Death Angel, that chart in the back is going to be where you want to be. It's going to be stripped down like there's no tomorrow. Once Jeremy turns that over, I think he's even put more into it than I wanted him to. But I'll know that when I get the manuscript. And if it is, I'm going to strip it out. But it's basically going to be your stat block that you want in alphabetical order, and it'll have the one sentence that you see in the spell listings will be at the end of it. It says this spell does 2d6 whatever, 1d6 per level, because that's all you need. If that's what you want, that's what you need. So I think you're going to be very, very happy with that, and it's going to be very, very serviceable. And I'm still going to toy with the stat block inside and do a couple of things. I got a couple of ideas that I think will help.
All right. George Fields has the third-party publishing files been updated for the Reforged yet?
No. Hopefully soon.
It's 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. Anyway, it's on the list though. It will be done once we get this.
Yeah, it's on the list.
Oh, MJ Cook 78 says you once mentioned. Oh, interesting. You once mentioned that you based an adventure on a Katy Perry video. Her videos are pretty out there, pretty far out there.
Oh,
I was wondering what the story synopsis was for this session.
So that's actually one of my absolute favorite adventures I've ever run. It's Katy Perry's Dark Horse. That's the song. So go check the video out. It's got great videos. It's a catchy tune. I like Katy Perry. She's got some really good tunes. It's a catchy tune, but it's got some great visuals in it. Just very colorful visuals, fantastical visuals. It's just really, I thought it was just a really cool video. And when I was watching it, I concocted this adventure, and basically it's the very, very high level party that, Sluther and them. It was a total on them, which is 15, 16, 17 level, whatever level they are. Basically, they ended up into a scrap with some ancient Enochians, and I based the Enochians sort of on Katy Perry's thing. And these Enochians used time travel to suck these guys into this kind of dimensional space that was out of time and out of space. And they couldn't figure out what was going on. They recognized the costumes because they knew it was kind of Enochians, but everything was too colorful and everything was very clever and everything was kind of not threatening, and it was kind of cajoling, and there wasn't any huge battle going on. Matt got so frustrated because it was the first time, I think, in a decade that he couldn't figure out what was going on in the adventure. Mac and I think a lot alike, so he usually can figure out what I'm doing. He doesn't play it at the table, but he usually knows what I'm doing. But he couldn't figure it. He was just getting more and more angry because he didn't know what was going on. And Chris is actually the one who unraveled the whole thing. It's one of the few adventures that I have written. I probably have 3 pages of content written for it. It's over in the other room. I was actually looking
at it. That's cool, man.
Oh, yeah. Because I don't ever write much down. I just kind of run it from the top of my head.
Yeah.
But this I wrote an absolute ton down. It was an awesome.
Well, you need to put that in print one of these days. That would be awesome.
I would. It's very high level and convoluted, but I think it would be cool if I could actually translate it to print.
Yeah. All right. George Fields has another question. Why are the class tables split 1 to 12 and 13 to 24?
So the original game, Castles and Crusades, Mac wanted it topped at 13th level. You can't make it beyond 13th level, and if you do, it's up to the CK to develop and design whatever they want to do. We're not carrying it on. And there's the reason for that is once you start, and he knew this from experience because we were running high-level characters in our AD&D game. Once you get to about 15th level, there's really nothing in the monster books that are going to give you pause. I think that's why, like the Fiend Folio from the old days had so many death attacks and stuff, because it's not really challenging. You're either going to obliterate this thing or it's going to kill you instantly. If you've run a 15th level party, so I've got 2 that I'm running. Well, one's on hiatus, but the Sunday night game is, I think they're 14th and 15th level. And I figured it up one day. On average, they're doing per melee round about 75 points of damage a melee round. There's nothing except big dragons that can sustain that damage. I mean, a hill giant's going to die in the first round or the second round. Fire giant first round or the second round. Storm giant might make it 4 rounds. There just isn't anything unless you go all in. The Demogorgon, Beelzebub, whoever, those knuckleheads. So Mac wanted it capped at 13th. But we had many requests for folks that wanted to keep playing. So in the CKG first printing, second printing, I wrote all of the rules for expanding these classes to 24th level. Well, when we did the 8th printing, we decided to combine that, but I wanted to make certain that max game stayed intact. I didn't want to step in there and change Mac and Davis's game the way they had designed it to end at 13th level. And that's why I split it. So for the purists, for those who are really, following what Davis and Mac wanted us to do with the game, here's your 13th level. But for those of us who know that you're going to make it to 15th and 18th level, here's what happens afterwards. But that's why I split it up.
All right.
It's 13th. Yeah, it was 13th. Jerry.
Was it 13 or was it 12?
It was 13th level. That's what he said. It's 13th. That's why it says 13 plus in your first, second, third, whatever printing. It says 13th plus because you make it 13th level and then you're on your own. That was Max thing. Yeah, just pick up an earlier printing. You'll see.
Okay. Varsuk asks.
Lucky. Yeah, well, that is his favorite number. Manfred is 13. Maybe that's why he picked it. I don't know.
Who knows? That's very funny. It's very possible. He asks where, if anywhere, stands out, might you place the city of Sanctuary from Thieves' World if you're looking for a desert plus port plus something that might stand in for the Rankan Ilsigi conflict or Ilsigi conflict?
I would probably, so if you look at this map here, if you go, so this is New Aenoch there, and if you go that way, what is that, east?
Yeah.
If you go east, the Great Desert, that's probably where I'd put Sanctuary.
Is that
Just
right
beyond
next to the lands of Is? The jungles of Is? Is it close to that?
Oh, no, the jungles of Is, they're south. Yeah, they're across the thing.
They're still.
Isn't that in Naiad?
No. That's still part of the main continent. Just farther east.
Then this is much. No. Yeah, so when you get off this map, the distances get gigantic.
Yeah.
And the Great Desert is just monstrously huge. So it would be much bigger on it. What's the next one? I want to apologize. Normally I can keep up with the chat, everybody, but it's flying today.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I can't.
All right. Wolf Alone asks, the new Crusader needs to include the ongoing adventures of Bug. I think we should do that. We should put him in the comic. That would be freaking awesome, dude. He would love that. It would be so killer.
All I will say is that if you have not gamed with people who are 7 and 10 years old, you should go do it. It is an eye-opening experience, and it is just cool. It'll remind you what you did when you were 10, when you picked up those.
Absolutely.
Those
Absolutely. Yeah. Oddman says, what do you need to play a must-have for DM and players to play CNC? What is the must-have?
To DM?
To play, it says to play a must-have for DM and players to play CNC. Yeah, to play CNC for DMs and players, what is the must-have?
Oh, player's handbook. That's all you need. Well, dice. Dice.
Commander Solo's not wrong. You need guys and character sheets.
It's a dice and a piece of paper and a pencil, unless you got a tablet.
Though,
but the player's handbook has everything that you need. The monster book is going to be very, very helpful.
So I was going to ask you a question. Why? I had a thought about this. This is probably crazy. You may hate the ideal, but I thought it would be kind of neat to take one page of the PHP and dedicate it to monster creation. Just so it truly is the only book you need. You know what I'm saying? Without ever, because we can make monsters up, but somebody who's just walked through the doors never played before.
Yeah. Well, that's sort of what, and there's monsters in the back of the player's handbook. There's that little adventure. You played it yesterday.
Oh, it does have that in there. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It does have 3 monsters, and that gives you an idea of what a monster needs. So the player's handbook, pick it up, run. You're golden. You could use a monster book, but honestly, you can pick up any monster book from any system, and in probably 2 minutes, switch it. Give it its normal class or whatever.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I just grab. Well, we all steal stuff from other people. You know what I mean? Somebody said they want to go. Yeah. We grab an ADM module. I'll use anything. I don't care.
I'll use anything.
Well, I think that's got us caught up, but we probably need to do the giveaways because it's getting about cheeseburger time.
Lando, it's a blast, isn't it? Young players are they're not constrained by the belief that their character can get killed or lose or whatever. So they probably are somewhat inundated with respawning. So they just barrel into it. It's a lot of fun. Before we dive into these giveaways, don't forget, if you haven't already, we have a Kickstarter running on for the Castles and Crusades Reforged. So head over there and give it a boost if you can. If nothing else, spread the word. We surely do appreciate it.
We most certainly do.
They are metric. They're just fun. And I have to say, I run the Sunday games. They're all video game players, and they're fun too because they look at it all so differently. I mean, it's just a different way of looking at it. It's really cool.
Right. It's just a completely different approach.
It is. Trash Mon Kill. That is very cool.
All
I
right.
guess it's Trash Mon. All right, go ahead. We're doing some giveaways.
Let's do some giveaway. I'm gonna give away 4 because we've got a big crowd. We had a big crowd today, Steve. Big crowd. So I'm gonna give away 4 of the $10 out. Yeah, we hit 187. So pretty good.
The more the merrier.
All right. So let's see. First winner up, and there'll be a link that'll drop in the channel here at Twitch. That'll be a link to the Discord. Just join if you've not already a member and hit up Obsidian Risk. He is one of the community member moderators, and he will get you your code. Here we go. First up is Lando the Archmagi. I think Lando knows very well how to redeem that. Good job, Lando. Congrats.
Lando's been with us a long time.
Next is Alien STL. I think they've won once before, maybe. I've recognized the name, but maybe it's been in chat. There's the Discord link. Just join. Congrats. Next up is going to be Commando Solo 193. Congrats. There you go. Tell them what they've won, Johnny Olson. All right there, Tyler. Tell you what. Next up, last but not least, is Master Splinter 68. Congrats. Congrats to all the winners, guys. Fantastic. Fantastic. We're really glad you guys got to come out and hang with us. It means a lot to us. Honestly, it does.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is actually the most relaxed of all the streams we do. I like this. Now, I do want to say tomorrow I'm going to be running a one-shot. I don't know who's going to be in it.
That's right.
Chuck, Jeremy, and Grace. I believe Davis, if he can make it. It only lasts an hour from 4 to 5 or 5:15, something like that. Whatever. I think we ran a little bit over yesterday. It'll be a quick and dirty session of Castles and Crusades. Warm Earth is what it's called.
Warm what?
Warm Earth.
The name of your adventure tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm glad you told me. I was going to ask you, and I was wondering if you'd come up with one. I'll fix some stuff up, and that's good.
Yeah.
All right, let me get some more raid. I'm just going to raid randomly into a random tabletop stream, and then we'll get out of here. That's cool. Yeah, we'll just introduce ourselves.
Show them some love.
Some new folks. That's right.
Everyone's drought. There will be water. I promise you, Manfred. There will be water.
All right, let's see.
It won't be a river, Jeremy, but there'll be some water involved. Don't worry.
There'll be some. There'll be some. I promise. We promise. All right. All right. We're going to go raid into, looks like Table Story. We'll do the, actually, let's raid into Lady Hope.
Thank you, Odd One Man.
We'll raid into her. I don't know her, but we'll raid into
Thank
her.
your bow and flotation devices.
Looks like she's doing, oh, they're running a game over there. Cool. We'll watch that. That'd be good. All right. We'll get the sets right up. You guys can hang loose. When you get over there, if you would, just spam her with emotes, and we'll get in there and introduce yourselves. I hope, again, thanks everybody for coming out. We'll be back tomorrow, running a game tomorrow evening. I'll have my stream in the morning if you guys want to come by and see us. I'll be just jabbering away on my crafting book and taking questions about whatever. Yeah, so we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for showing up.
All right. Troza, we're out of here.